Hello friends and welcome to today's video.
Hi, hello. As you can see, I got a new intro. I think I mentioned this in my last video, um, but I animated it. I might make a video about it. It was pretty simple. I just kind of crapped it out right before I made the video before this one went, really quickly. So it's not the best, but I did record a little voice line before it, to use for every video. I thought that would be fun, so I tried it. It might change, but for now, I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cute. For the what I'm doing for this video, I've been making this video for a lot longer than I should admit. What I'm doing is a 10 art style challenge. Originally, I was gonna try to do it in 48 hours. The first part worked out that way, but the second part did not. I am showing these in the order in which I drew them. I had a hard time coming up with ideas for this, and I thought about asking people, but I eventually got all the ideas I needed after staring at a computer screen in every video game I've ever played that I want to draw in the art style of, and I figured it out, so yay! So once I figured it out, I just started drawing at a time. You'll see when I start the speed paint. And on to the speed paint. Alrighty, so for the first thing I did for the 10 art style challenge, I got this from another creator. I'm gonna put them in the pinned comments. Or not they got this, but I got inspired to do this from another creator who I've been watching. And I will pin them in the comments because that's kind of where I got. I mean, this isn't an new idea, but that is where I was like, I should do this. This sounds really fun. So for this, that's where I got this from. This was the first one I did. It was Omori. I'm not the most familiar with Omori, and before I get crucified, I had friends who played it. I never really played it. I don't really play games. I mean, I play the games I like, and I really like the games I like, but when it comes to like venturing out, I'm not a very good at that. So when this was really popular, I knew a little bit about it. I know enough to know that I know about the end of the game. But I decided to make myself one of the characters in the dream world. You'll see this when I do one of my ones. I decided that like maybe this character has like a mission where you're supposed to collect all the sketch pages in my little sketchbook. And like you'll get some sort of reward. I thought that'd be fun. But I also decided to do the little Mori portraits. Because I really like the way they all look and the emotions for them. So for each of these, originally I was doing it in black pencil, but then I realized I should do it in blue, because that's what most of the dream characters are in, except for your player character, and I was like, oh shit. And so I changed it. I also just scribbled in the hair because I see that all the darker haired characters had that scribbly and then like a neon underneath, but instead, I just scribbled it in and then put my purple hair underneath, as like a color. To like make it look more like in the game. I kept my doll for most of these. I keep my doll and dragon features because they're not really changeable, if that makes sense. Like I can't just undoll myself. It's kind of a permanent thing. So no matter where I go, I would be like that. So when I was coloring this, I was not color picking. I do this thing and I call it color picking with my eyes. I'm pretty good at it, where I just kind of eyeball a color, and I'm pretty good at like adjusting it to where it should be, at least within the first 3 tries. I kind of like this more than color picking because color theory kind of gets you, and so sometimes it's easier to color pick with your eyes so you can see the colors around you in relation, so color theory doesn't get you. For the background, I just put in some of the colors from like the pixel area that I could eyeball and just made them a gradient. I picked these colors and I made them all darker versions of my current colors. As you can see, I put a little bit of fun lighting on myself. I thought it would be really fun to just like do that. I don't know. To like give myself that it's because I am in like a kind of like a light lit area, so I thought I'd give myself some like sunset lighting. I don't know how well this works. We might ditch this next video. But on to the next one. I watched the Jaden animation video about Chikawa and I had to make myself a Chikawa. I know I had to. It was like I contractually, like, if I did not make myself a Chikawa, I would be like, or into Chikawa, I would be like a sin. It'd be a sin against humanity. So for this, what I ended up doing was I first sketched it out myself and I got the proportions like horrifically wrong. Like, it looks really, really cute, but the proportions I ended up doing were like really off, and then I realized I used the wrong brush and I decided to just redo it, and I just drew over the proportions of Chikawa because I couldn't for the life of me get it right, which is really sad because it's the simplest thing one of the simplest things I've ever drawn. But I was just like, this isn't, I don't know why I couldn't get the stupid head. Anyway, so I just kind of took this, and then I just moved it over. I had a fun time with this. I was just kind of laughing to myself, and I was like, I should make this my profile picture, because it's so funny. It's so funny, like, look at it. I thought about making matching profile pictures for me and my partner because it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. That's all I have to say, is that this is the most beautiful thing ever. Oh, and it's so funny. Go Chikawa. But yeah, I had a fun time doing this, and I did this. A lot of these at the beginning were relatively simple because I was trying to pump these out as quickly as possible. And then I ended up scrapping that at the very end when I was tired and done. For the next one, I did Adventure Time. This was one I watched a little bit when I was a kid. I didn't really religiously watch anything. Don't get your pitchforks. I remember a lot of it. But I decided that this one would be a fun one. One, I was going for simple in the beginning. And two, I was because it is more, I guess, more of like a fantasy setting, with like I guess a fun twist that I really, really like. So I decided that I would do that. I made myself kind of build my build. I should have, in hindsight, I should have made my build based off of more of like Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, because that's kind of how I portray myself in my artwork. But I ended up basing my build more off of Fiona from Fiona and Cake. And then I added in Milky Way, my little mascot. I decided that this would be the perfect, because every little Finn or Finn adjacent person has their little Jake, and I was like, yeah, we're adding them. We're adding Milky Way because that's great. I was so tickled when I made that ferret shenanigan thing I used in the last video, because they make noise and they have no consideration for me at all, which is really funny. I'm not like, I should be angry or something, but I'm just not. It's just very funny, and I can't like get over how funny that is to me. But yeah, making this was quite simple. I didn't add any text for all of these. I haven't added any of the texture that I usually have to my scales, which isn't really shown very well because of my pixel model. But my scales are supposed to be like pearlescent, but for these, there isn't any of that because obviously the art style doesn't allow it. I did have a fun time with this and like imagining like how the doll, open dolls logistics would work in all of these. Actually, I was thinking about that, and how fun that would be. I based the glasses off of Simon so that if anyone gets where I got that from, I just looked up pictures of Simon and that's where I got it from. I tried to add in as many of like the rubbery hose arms, but it feels wrong. It shouldn't feel wrong because I'm doing the art style, but it still feels wrong. I don't know how that makes no sense at all. But yeah. For the next one, I started this one and then I've actually technically finished it last. I did the Littlest Pet Shop one and I started this and I had my friend commission me a little like fursona because I kind of, well, I love my bro. I'll link also in the, I'll also link in like a pinned comment his Ko-fi, but he needed a monster. I thought that would be interesting to see, and that is how I got my persona. So the first part of me drawing this was before that, and I was kind of just basing it off of the dragon I saw in my head of myself. It's very basic. So I really like the way I changed it at the end. And so it kind of like, it's just more of a tradition, not traditional, but it's a lot more of just like a dragon with accent fluffies instead of like all fluffy, which is like the goals, by the way. Fluffy dragons are goals, because they're so cute. And yeah, so for this, I just put in my normal colors. You'll see I ended up taking, I think I tried the gradient, but I took it away because I saw that some Littlest Pet Shops have a lot of gradients and some of them don't. And I decided to not overcomplicate it because it was already kind of getting complicated. And you'll see this is where I edited it to make it more fluffy. And my dragon form now has a mask, and it's a ferret / raccoon mask, and it looks like a little heart. And I thought that was really cute. I tried to make it look more like a realistic, instead of doing the art style in the drawn art, I tried to make it look more like an actual like toy of a Littlest Pet Shop, like the old ones. They're going back to the style of the old ones, which I'm like, thank God. Oh my God, I hated the new Littlest Pet Shops so much. I was one of the kid who had like buckets of these things, and I still own my favorite Littlest Pet Shop. It was a little woodpecker, the little purple one. That's my favorite Littlest Pet Shop. I thought it was a Roadrunner, but regardless. As you can see, I went back to this because the last one, one of the last ones I did was My Little Pony, and I did that one based off of a new design, and I went back to the Littlest Pet Shop one and I edited it. I also finished it up a little bit more because I felt bad for not finishing it as well as I finished the others. I really, I'm happy I did that. I really like the way this turned out. I think it looks really cute. The glasses don't have their danglies, but most Littlest Pet Shop accessories aren't like extra like myself. So I didn't add those. I also didn't add my little heart-shaped horns because I didn't see any Littlest Pet Shops with heart-shaped horns, and so I just decided to forego it. I did keep my little tattoo / carving on the side because that's kind of like a bigger part of my design, which it's not displayed on this model because I used, the pixels are very small, and so I couldn't add room for it, but I do have a moon shaped silver carving with like colors on it on my design. But yeah, I really like the way this one turned out. I think it looks really cute. It shows off my build or my dragon form when I was a full dragon really well, like because I was I was shorter and like I had little legs like a ferret, and I had this long fluffy tail like a cat. But I really like the way it turned out. I'm really proud about it. It looks really cute, and I wish I had that Littlest Pet Shop. I might try to like make it one day, because that would be so much fun. Okay, sorry about that. On to the next one. The next one The next one I did was I decided to try to do Ina Dream Barbecue because I recently watched one of my friends play it and I was hype. So I thought about just drawing it, and I was like, no one's gonna tell where it's from if I just draw it. So I decided to make a fake game screenshot. And this goes back to what I said about the Amori, where with the sketch pages, because that's the dialogue. I said, I have no clue where the bathroom is, but I might know someone who does if you can find my sketch pages. I thought about like maybe making myself speak Italian or something, but I don't really know enough Italian to write that, so I just forgoed it for now until I learn more Italian. So for this, it's really just my design. I thought about giving myself a cool outfit, but a lot of them just kind of wear whatever, and a lot of it's also based off of art history. I know. I didn't really base myself off of any art history thing. I couldn't find anything that like interested me enough. Maybe I'll come back to this and like really do it. But I thought it would be really cool if I used the soul string that strings all dolls, like myself together, and I made it like a cool thing that like outstretches and like can like move around like one of those pretty ribbons, and like can stretch in and out. So like you can like stretch in and out, so it'd be like I'd move kind of fun. You can see I added that in. I also added in the pen, which is again the same color, and I just rolled it around. I thought that would be really fun. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did enjoy it. And I had a lot of fun making the fake game screenshot. I don't know how believable it looks. It probably looks like not at all. I should have gone for more of like pixel art, like how I am right now. But I still had a fun time doing it, so I'm not gonna say I regret it. And then for the colors, I just kind of color picked my own colors because I wasn't really working on trying to like do anything too terribly different from myself at this point. I was still kind of like trying to figure out things that it was render heavy and relatively simple. But I did have a fun time doing this. I might revisit this and redesign this later, but as of right now, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Maybe when the second chapter comes out, I'll like come back to this and I'll make a full thing with it. But I really like the idea of just like wandering around with my little electric pen, and it's like drawing in the air, and it like just like winds around me. Yeah, I had a really fun time doing this. I really enjoyed it. I don't know, I don't have too much to say, but I'm also like, I just enjoyed this, and I enjoyed watching my friend play this game, and I want to play it. It's free. It's just I'm lazy. I'm just very lazy, and so I just haven't gotten to it yet. This would be the perfect time for me to get to it, though, in between my Infinity Nikki moments. I thought about doing a Nikki one from one of the 2D games, but I was like, that's too hard. It's not, but I was like, I don't want to figure that out right now. So I did Doki Doki Literature Club, but you'll see that later. But yeah, I had a fun time doing. Oh, speak of the devil. I forgot I did this one right after the, or I started it. I didn't finish it until this was one of the last ones I technically finished, but I sketched it right after the Ina one, so that's what the order it goes in. That's why I was like, oh, this goes way later, but it's not. Yeah, this is what happens when you sleep between editing. So for this one, I have done this before, so I wasn't too like overly like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. I know how to do this. My art style, like rendering, used to be very, very similar to this, and so it's not, I kind of over rendered it for Doki Doki Literature Club actually in the face a little bit, but I think it worked out. It looks kind of fun still. But for this one, I just kind of sketched it pretty simple. I started off with the eyes because the eyes are like they aren't like the most unique thing in the world, but also like I don't know how to explain it other than if you don't get the eyes right, it doesn't look like the game at all. Especially because it is so like visual novel anime. So I made sure I got the eyes right first, and then I started rendering. The way they render is basically how I used to render in my old when I rendered with line art and layers and airbrushes and so much shit. I might release a tutorial because it is a very desired way of rendering for people, and I think I have one, but for me, I got tired of like look into my little beady eyes for a second. I got so tired of the layers and the losing shit, and it was very tiring. Anyway, no more serious. But yeah, so I just rendered this how I used to with, basically it's just kind of multiply layers and understanding like certain things. I don't think I got my sweater right, but I couldn't figure out how to make it look right. So I just kind of fudged it and went, yeah, that's fine. And then I added in the Doki Doki Literature Club logo and my text that says for my intro, hi, hello friends. This was a lot of fun. I looked for a background so I could put myself in a background so it looks like I'm in the visual novel. I think I did a little bit over rendered for Doki Doki Literature Club. But for this one, I made a brush for my scales so I don't have to render them over and over again and then be mad that I didn't get them right. I'm smiling really hard, and so yeah, I have like squinty eyes, so whenever I smile, which is a lot, my eyes close and then I'm like, open your eyes, open them so that you can see into my eyes. Anyway, sorry, that was like a rant. Anyway, I had a really fun time doing the Doki Doki Literature Club one. On to the next one. The next one I did was Violet Evergarden. I do not like the way the movie was with the weird love story between the Major and Violet. I think that's wrong. But the rest of it, if you want to watch it on Netflix and just forget that the movie exists and you want to cry, this is what you watch if you want to cry and get like a bucket load of inspiration, especially if you have a more anime-y art style. Because it is like every frame in this animation is eye candy to me. Like, it is so freaking gorgeous, and it's so gorgeous. So I had to do this art style because it's like subtly influenced me for years because it is so pretty to like look at, to watch the animation. It's like, gosh, it's so good looking. It's just so good looking. So for this one, I didn't change my outfit that much. I gave myself a long skirt because that is kind of the style of the era, of like, I guess, because I didn't really see any female or feminine characters, I should say, in pants, and so I just gave myself a skirt. I also didn't have to draw legs, and so that was a win for me. So for this one, I also used the brush. Because I did not want to, the way Violet Evergarden renders, they're beautiful, 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 beautiful. They're very beautiful, like, they're like jewels. That's the word I was looking for. Jewels and gems. But God, I suck. Is very pretty, but it also would be a pain in the ass to replicate like hundreds of times, and so I made a brush. And then I was like, wait, this just looks like how I want my scales to look. And so I just after making the brush, I was like, I'll just use it for everything, because I went through this straight through. I sketched the Doki Doki Literature Club one, did the Violet Evergarden one, and then went back to the Doki Doki Literature Club one. At the very end, so it's in that order of when I started it. So this is technically the first piece I used this brush on, and I think I did a little bit too cluttered, but I also really enjoyed how it looked. It looked a lot better than what I was gonna try to do. So I really liked it, And then for the skirt, I decided to add these buttons that go all the way down the side because their clothes are like really pretty detailed, and I don't do that really. And then I took away the mushroom design that I have on my jacket sometimes because it didn't feel very accurate to the world at all for it to be there, and so it's just a plain green jacket. But my top actually stayed relatively unscathed because I thought that it was very Violet Evergarden-y with the era, other than it would probably have sleeves. But I don't sleeves are they're for the weak. I'm kidding, but I decided to keep it sleeveless so that you could see this pretty scales. And then I added a little moon brooch in there so that to show off more of the rendering of the jewelry, because it is the brooch she has that's like green in the show. Holy, it's so pretty. It's like the prettiest. I want that jewelry in real life, and I don't think it exists because it's so pretty. For the next one, I did I think it was Sailor Moon, right? Or no, it was Persona. I skipped one. I skipped the one that one of the funner ones I did, or the funnest ones. I should say I had fun with all of these. But the Persona one I had a lot of fun with, even though it was kind of a struggle party, because the line art I used was too thin, and then I realized it at the end, and then I was like, I'm not doing that again. So I just kind of dealt with it. For this one, I designed myself a new, like, a Phantom Thief fit. I've done this before because I made Miku, Persona 5 Miku, in one video, because I hated the wiki design of Persona 5 Miku. If you look at it, it's horrible, and it's for shame. So I fixed it. You're welcome, internet. Her Phantom Thief name is Monarch, by the way, because, you know, the world is mine, and then Monarch butterflies, but instead they're blue, because she's blue. Anyway, I'll link that video in the iCard because I am really proud of it. I'm really proud of the art I made. On to me actually making them per my Phantom Thief of self. Again, I kept the doll aspect and the dragon aspect. I like to think that maybe I could, like, in this, because of like the all the little stupid little mascots that can turn into people, Teddy in all the personas. So Teddy, I don't think the dog can, but the dog doesn't talk. Morgana, who does get a people form in Royal, I know that. All of them, I thought, well, shit, why don't I just make myself, like, maybe, like, in the real world, I'm like this little robot, or like I'm like a little dragon, and I'm like a little doll dragon that's like, I don't know, like a ruler length, and like maybe like 4 inches tall, and then, or like ferret sized, I'll just say ferret sized. And then when you're in the palaces, I look like this, and so that's what I did. So I just color picked my own colors. I didn't cell shade on top of the black shading because I realized they don't do that really, so I didn't do that. I had a fun time designing this. I gave myself some little armor as well, because I thought it would be really cool if I looked like a knight in, like, because like I'm a dragon, so like, you know, a dragon knight, and then my mask is based off of the little heart-shaped marking that's on my face, or on my dragon form's face, not on my face. And so I have that, and I thought it was really cool. And then I'm a knight, and then my weapons, like for like melee and stuff, is my little gauntlets, or not little gauntlets, but my little knight armor hands. They're like claws, like they're like dragon claws, so I can like claw people. Anyway, I thought that was really cool, and I had a fun time doing it. On to the next one, which is Sailor Moon. For Sailor Moon, this is one, I love Sailor Moon to pieces. It is so unapologetically 80s, and even though I think it was made in the 90s, it's still, to me, it screams 80s. Don't ask me why. It's mostly like the plot lines. I'm like, that's so cliche, but it's so fun. Like, it's so fun and it doesn't question itself and it's so proud of itself. I love it. I've been meaning to get into the manga for years now, but I just haven't yet because I only have the first manga and I want to collect all the physical manga because I love the anime so much. But yeah, so for this, I made myself a Sailor Scout. Who wouldn't? And for this, I based it not off of Crystal. I based it off of the 90s. The original anime. I don't remember the years. I did this because I thought this was the more iconic style. I did watch, don't crucify me, I did watch Crystal first because I heard it was more manga accurate and less filler, and I was like, well, I'm gonna watch the thing with less filler first, and then I'll watch the thing with more filler, because that's made more sense in my mind. So that's what I did. I watched a little bit of the original, and then I've watched Crystal all the way through because it's more, I just explained it. So yeah, for this, I also found a braid brush, which you'll see I used in the other ones, which were my like savior, for my little braids, because I got sick of drawing them over and over again. For this one, I kept myself again as I was because I don't have any way to blur it out. It's just magic at this point. And then for this one, I was like, well, I have my whole star motif, and I was like, what if I'm Sailor Star? That probably exists already in the manga that I have not read yet. But I thought it worked out, so because I couldn't be purple because purple is Sailor Saturn, which destroys anyway. I know about that. She destroys the world and then it restarts, and that's what she does. So I couldn't do that. For the cell shading, I just used a purpley magenta color, and I cell shaded. I took a background from Google from the anime, and then I put a noise. I Gaijin blurred my line art, and then I put noise, and then that's what made it look like an older anime screenshot. I don't have much to say for this one. I tried to make the pose kind of static like older shows. And then I am more of a, I guess, since I am an adult, I did try to give myself more of an adult body type, because I am an adult and Sailor Moon is like 14. And that's what I tried to do. I kept my little dragon feetsies because even the ones that don't show my little feetsies, I always have them because they're very cute. And then for the last one I did, I did have fun with the Sailor Moon one, by the way. I was just, I'm talking through this and I'm running out of breath. Because this is a long video. I'm so sorry for that. So for the last one I did, or technically it was the last one I started, I did My Little Pony. I was trying to kind of avoid My Little Pony, but I was like, I don't know what else to do. And so My Little Pony became my answer. I found some references from what the new show makes dragons look like, what a dragon pony looks like, which I'm gonna pretend that somebody didn't make a Princess Celestia dragon baby, and Twilight Sparkle because she's purple. So for this, I did make myself more of a fluffy dragon, and the dragons in the show aren't very much like my own build, but I kept it to the show because I made more, or the more recent show because I made the most sense to me. I do have a very long snoot, which was not shown off or I did. I don't anymore, but at one point I did, which is not shown in the show, or not shown in LPS as much, and so I just put it into My Little Pony form. I still made myself a doll because for the LPS it was already a toy, and so I was like, I'm not gonna make myself a doll toy. That's a little unproductive, I guess, or counterproductive. It'd be an oxymoron. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. It'd be an oxymoron. But for My Little Pony, it's not really an oxymoron because I'm doing the show, not the toys. If it was the toys, then it would be an oxymoron. So for this, I used a lighter shade for the body of my purple hair, and then I used my actual purple hair for the hair and then the tip of my tail. I forgot about my little, what I call lovingly, that I forgot to put in my LPS, but it's fine because I don't think the LPS would have it. I call them my little bitch wings. On my design, on the back, you'll see them. They're very small. You can't even see them in the model. They're just there. They don't do anything. They're useless. But I did have a lot of fun doing this. I really like my new dragon design. I think it's really funny that I have like these little dragon chicken legs. I love it, like Toriko for The Last Guardian. It's great. It's really great. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this video. I really wanted to thank you guys for watching. Really, truly, thank you guys. I had an amazing time making this, and I'm gonna start weekly uploads again. I think I said that in my last video. This is just a blooper of me being late, so I'm very sorry for that. But once this is edited and uploaded, I will be doing 11:30 every Saturday, either A, until school starts, or B, if I have like an emergency, it'll be a skip, but I'll announce it on my Discord server, which if you are not a part of it, that's where I announce everything. I'm pretty bad about announcing on my physical channel, which is really bad, but if you want to get updates like real time of like videos, and sometimes I do teasers for videos if I'm late, or I'm gonna try to do more teasers, go to my Discord server. It's a little dead, but everybody's really friendly, and there's some amazing talented artists there. I want to try to bring it back to life. I just don't know how. But going in there and talking is the best way. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.